You teach people how to treat you by what you tolerate. Tony Gaskins. You're kind. You're the one who listens. Who stays loyal. The one who never asks for too much. And still, life doesn't reward you. You give love, you get ignored. You work hard, others get promoted. You support everyone, but when you fall, no one's there. Why? Why do good people get the worst outcomes? Is kindness a curse? Or is there something no one ever told you? Stay with me, because in the next few minutes, I'll expose the real reason why being nice can become the very thing that's blocking your abundance. And if you make it to the end, I'll show you how to reverse the curse, without becoming cold or heartless. Section 1: The myth of be good and good things will happen. Since childhood, most of us were sold the same idea. Be a good person. Help others. Sacrifice. And life will reward you. But let's be honest. How many kind, generous, loyal people do you know who are struggling? Struggling emotionally. Struggling financially. Struggling to be seen, to be loved, to be respected. Why? Because life doesn't reward kindness. It rewards boundaries, clarity, energy, and alignment. And that's where most good people go wrong. Section 2: Real example, the burned-out giver. Let me tell you about Sarah. She was the friend everyone relied on. She lent money without being asked. She covered for co-workers. She kept giving chances to toxic people because they needed love. And guess what? Sarah was always tired, broke, and invisible. She wasn't failing because she was unworthy. She was failing because she believed that giving meant deserving. That belief? It kept her small for years. Section 3: The truth about energetic leaks. Here's what no one tells you. Every time you give out of guilt, fear, or obligation, you leak power. You may not see it, but your energy becomes scattered. And when your energy is scattered, abundance avoids you. Because abundance is drawn to people who protect their energy. Choose their yes carefully. Say no without guilt. If you're constantly overgiving, you're signaling to life, I don't believe I'm worthy of receiving. And life listens. Section 4: Why the nice person gets ignored. Think about it. The people who get the job aren't always the nicest, they're the most assertive. The ones who are chased in love aren't the kindest, they're the ones with magnetism. The ones who rise up in life aren't always the most giving, they're the most aligned. Kindness without power becomes weakness. And weakness doesn't attract wealth. It doesn't attract love. It doesn't attract change. It attracts users. It attracts takers. It attracts emotional exhaustion. Section 5: Tip of the day: Audit your kindness. Before you say yes to someone, ask, am I giving from love or fear? Will I feel resentful after this? Would this person do the same for me? If your kindness costs you your peace, it's no longer kindness, it's self-betrayal. Say no. Say it cleanly. Say it clearly. You are not required to burn yourself just to keep others warm. Ending teaser: What's next? In part 2, we'll go deeper. We'll talk about how subconscious guilt and fear can make kind people sabotage their own success even when everything seems to be working. And most importantly, I'll give you the tools to break free, without becoming cold, bitter, or selfish. You were never meant to stay small. So if you're ready to stop being the one who's always there but never seen, I'll see you in the next part. When kindness becomes a curse: the hidden blocks to abundance. Part 2: The invisible chains: how subconscious guilt blocks your success. You don't attract what you want. You attract what you are. Dr. Joe Dispenza. You do everything right. You're kind, thoughtful, giving. You never cause drama. And still, abundance avoids you. The love you want doesn't show up. The money you deserve stays out of reach. The peace you chase never lasts. Why? Because beneath your kindness, something darker might be hiding. guilt, fear, and the belief that receiving is selfish. This is the part no one talks about. And if you're brave enough to face it, you'll finally understand why good people stay stuck, while others seem to rise without effort. So keep watching. Because in this part, I'll show you the invisible chains that keep you trapped and how to break them, one link at a time. Section 1: The Hidden Guilt of the Kind-Hearted. Let's be honest. How many times have you turned down opportunities because you didn't want others to feel bad? Refused to raise your prices or ask for more because you didn't want to seem greedy? Settle for less in relationships because asking for more felt like a burden? That's not humility. That's not virtue. That's internalized guilt disguised as kindness. And guilt is one of the most powerful manifestation blockers on earth. Section 2: Real example: the therapist who couldn't receive. Meet David, a trauma therapist. He helped hundreds of clients over the years, pouring his heart into their healing. But when it came to money, he kept struggling. Barely paid his rent. Always giving discounts. Never felt worthy of charging more. Why? Because deep down, David believed, if I ask for more, I'm not being kind. I'm taking from people who suffer. But what he couldn't see was that his own suffering wasn't helping anyone. It was a form of self-punishment. And the universe responded exactly to that energy. Lack. Struggle. Burnout. Section 3: The Guilt Manifestation Loop. Here's how this toxic cycle works. You want abundance. But you feel guilty receiving it. So you self-sabotage, undercharge, overgive, say no to big chances. You stay stuck. You blame fate or others. Then, to feel better, you overgive again and repeat the cycle. You're not attracting what you deserve. You're attracting what your subconscious believes you're allowed to have. Section 4: Why Guilt Feels Safer Than Power. Here's the painful truth. If you were taught that wanting more is selfish, if you saw powerful people as corrupt, if you learned that suffering is holy, then you will unconsciously reject abundance every time it tries to enter your life. Because your nervous system doesn't feel safe with it. It believes that success will cost you love. That power will isolate you. That happiness will make you a target. And so, you shrink. You stay nice. You stay invisible. Not because you lack value, but because you fear the price of being seen. Section 5: Tip of the Day: Rewire Your Worth. It's time to reclaim your right to receive. Here's how. Mirror work: every day, look at yourself and say, it is safe for me to receive. I am not selfish. I am aligned. My kindness is not my cage. Journal prompt: ask yourself, what am I afraid will happen if I become powerful, wealthy, or fully loved? Write without censoring. The answers may shock you. New standard: practice saying this phrase when people ask too much. I help when I can. But not at the expense of my peace. You are allowed to want more. You are allowed to keep your energy. You are allowed to receive without guilt. Ending teaser: what's next? In part 3, we'll explore how your emotional patterns and childhood beliefs create a hidden ceiling on your abundance and how to break it. We'll go into the exact habits that keep nice people broke, tired, and stuck, even when they work twice as hard as everyone else. If you've ever felt like life is rigged against you, part 3 will shift everything. Because the system isn't broken. It's programmed. And it's time to rewrite the code. When kindness becomes a curse, the hidden blocks to abundance. Part 3: The childhood programming that keeps you poor, small, and overgiving. Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. Carl Jung. You weren't born to be invisible. You weren't born to survive on scraps of love, attention, or success. But somehow, you've been living like you are. You're kind, but overlooked. You're helpful, but underpaid. You give your all, but never get what you truly want. Why? Because it's not just your actions that shape your life. It's your unseen programming. And that programming? It began long before you had a choice. Section 1, the first 7 years where your story was written. Most of your beliefs about money, love, worth, and kindness were shaped when you were a child. Maybe you heard things like, be grateful for what you have. Don't ask for too much. Nice girls don't speak up. Good boys don't cry or complain. Money doesn't grow on trees. They sounded innocent. They were even meant to protect you. But over time, they planted a silent idea inside you. If I want to be safe and loved, I have to shrink myself. And you did. You dimmed your voice. You delayed your dreams. You gave everything and asked for nothing. That's not kindness. That's conditioning. Section 2, real example, the people pleaser from a broken home. Let's talk about Jamal. Grew up in a home full of fighting. His way of surviving? Keeping the peace. Staying invisible. Always being the good kid. Now, as an adult, he can't say no to anyone. He hates conflict, even when he's right. He undervalues himself at work. He attracts partners who take advantage of his loyalty. Why? Because that little boy inside him still believes. If I upset people, I lose love. So he bends. He breaks. And he calls it being nice. But really, it's unhealed childhood fear. Section 3, the success ceiling you don't even know you have. Let me explain something powerful. Every person has a success thermostat. It's the internal setting that tells your subconscious. This is how much love, money, peace, and freedom I'm allowed to feel. If life gives you more than that, your nervous system panics. You sabotage it. You push it away. You find a way to go back to struggle. That's why some people win big, then lose it all. Or finally find love and ruin it. Or make progress and suddenly don't feel like themselves. Because abundance feels unfamiliar. And what's unfamiliar feels unsafe. So your mind drags you back into the life it understands. Even if that life is painful. Section 4, you're not broken. You're programmed. If you've been stuck for years. If you've done the work, tried manifestation, been patient, stayed kind, and still nothing moves. You're not cursed. You're not unworthy. You're just running a subconscious script you didn't choose. And the only way to escape it is to uncover it. Challenge it. Rewrite it. This is the difference between people who try to change and people who actually do. One of them keeps hoping life will get better. The other becomes the author of their reality. Section 5, tip of the day, rewrite the script. Try this 3-step process to begin reprogramming your inner world. Catch the voice. When you say, I can't charge that much, or I can't say no, ask. Whose voice is this? Is it your mother? Your father? A teacher? A religious idea? Challenge the rule. Ask, is this rule helping me live fully? Or is it keeping me small, afraid, and quiet? Create a new belief. Replace it with something like, I can be kind and powerful. Receiving is safe. I am allowed to take up space. Do this daily. Speak it out loud. Write it down. Over time, your subconscious will adjust and so will your life. Ending teaser, what's next? In part 4, we'll go from awareness to strategy. You'll learn how to set boundaries without guilt, say no without fear, and turn your kindness into power, not a prison. You'll also discover the energetic shifts that open doors you didn't even know existed. No more waiting. No more hoping. It's time to rewire, rise, and receive. I'll meet you in the final part. Part 4, turning kindness into power, break the pattern and receive fully. The world gives to the bold, not to the silent martyrs. Unknown. You've done the inner work. You've faced the guilt. You've explored the hidden programming. Now comes the question that separates the stuck from the free. What do you actually do next? Because kindness alone won't change your life. Not unless it's paired with boundaries, clarity, and self-worth that refuses to shrink. In this final part, I'll give you the exact steps to flip the script so your kindness becomes a magnet for abundance, not a cage of self-sacrifice. Stay with me until the end. Because this part? This is where transformation truly begins. Section 1: Kindness without boundaries becomes self-destruction. Let's get something straight. Being nice does not mean being available 24/7. Being giving does not mean being used. Being loyal does not mean being silent when you're hurt. Without boundaries, your kindness will attract users, not friends. Takers, not partners. Employers who drain you. Situations that reward your silence, not your value. And here's the kicker. The world reflects how you treat yourself. If you keep saying yes to things that exhaust you, the universe assumes that's what you want more of. Section 2: Real example: the teacher who finally said no. Noura was a teacher who stayed late, covered for colleagues, and worked weekends without extra pay. Her boss praised her endlessly, but never promoted her. She watched less talented co-workers rise because they asked for more. She never did. One day, she read this: "Your value isn't in how much you give. It's in how much you respect what you give." That hit her. She started saying no. She stopped apologizing. She set clear hours. Within 3 months, she was offered a management role. Why? Because the moment she respected herself, others did too. Section 3: Power habits for kind people who want more. If you want to stay kind, but no longer stay broke, invisible, or drained, adopt these 5 power habits. Practice saying no without an explanation. That doesn't work for me. That's it. No guilt. No excuse. No story. Put your energy first in the morning. Don't wake up to serve others before serving yourself. Meditate. Walk. Reflect. Claim your energy before the world takes it. Charge what you're worth. Undercharging isn't humble, it's harmful. It teaches people your energy is cheap. Set a standard, then stick to it. Let others be disappointed. You're not responsible for everyone's emotions. If someone is upset because you said no, that's their growth edge, not your guilt. Track what you tolerate. Every time you say yes to something that drains you, write it down. After a week, look at the list. Then burn it. And stop living like that. Section 4: Kindness with standards attracts higher reality. When you elevate your standards, you activate new frequencies of opportunity. The universe doesn't respond to what you wish for. It responds to what you allow. And the more you say no with clarity, protect your time, speak your truth, ask for what you want, the more abundance will meet you. Because now, you're aligned. You're not leaking energy. You're not performing for approval. You're radiating self-respect. That energy is magnetic. Section 5: Final tip: Redefine kindness. Ask yourself, what if kindness isn't about giving everything? What if kindness is also about saying the hard truth with love? Protecting your peace? Refusing to enable toxic behavior? Choosing yourself so others can learn to do the same? That's real kindness. That's conscious love. That's how you rise, without guilt, without apology. Final call: what now? If this series opened your eyes, remember this. You were never the problem. But you have the power to change the pattern. You don't need to stop being kind. You need to stop believing that kindness means sacrificing your life. Because true abundance doesn't come from self-erasure. It comes from authentic alignment with who you are, what you need, and what you're no longer willing to tolerate. So go live louder. Take up space. Let your kindness shine, but this time, from a place of power. The curse is broken. The path is open. Now walk it.